And we are live for our work-based webinar Wednesday, Career Spotlight. Today we have with us Mr. Bryan Lewis of 7Lemons. I'm going to give him a chance to just speak to you and tell you all about his career, all about what he does, all about who he is. But first, I just want to lay the ground rules that we always lay for our webinars. For students, I need you guys to be using your 3 L's. That's look, listen, and learn. So while you're watching this video, just make sure you're looking at it. Don't zone off. Make sure you're looking at it so you can see what's actually going on. If you're looking, then you're going to be listening. So turn those listening ears on. And then if you're listening, you are bound to learn something. So 3 L's today: look, listen, and learn. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So, Mr. Lewis.
Yes, sir.
It's good to have you, man.
Appreciate it. Good to be here, man. Appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. So just go ahead and tell the people about yourself. Tell them what your official title is, and just really what you do. Break down the job.
Gotcha. So yeah, like Dominic said, Mr. Dominic said, my name is Bryan. I own 7Lemons. I classify myself, I hate the graphic design term. I more so say like art director, but I handle a lot of things from like motion graphics, graphic design, web design, poster design, logos, anything graphic, I pretty much can do. I've been working in the entertainment industry with that discipline of graphic design for about 7 years now. I've been full time doing my own thing for about 5.5 or 6 years, I think. But it's definitely been a journey, man.
Wow. So 7 years, you've been in the game for a long time, man. So what got you to this point, like to where you are today? Talk about, some of your educational background. Talk about like who inspired you. Talk about, what made you want to pursue this type of career.
Cool. So I didn't necessarily go to school for graphic design. I'm self-taught. I just kind of utilize the internet, Google, YouTube, because I feel like anything you want to learn, the information is already out there. It's kind of like how you use the internet. You can either using it for like just playing around with social media and kind of goofing off, or you can kind of find the information you need to build your skills and stuff like that. So back in 2015, I was working at AT&T, and I was actually starting a company with one of my coworkers, and he said he will handle more so the web design, and I'll handle more so like the marketing of this idea we had to like service small business customers for AT&T, handle their phone stuff. Anyway, but so we were building the idea for like a whole year. We was having meetings. I was kind of more so taking the lead on it because it was kind of my idea. I came up with the name. So after a year of like kind of just meetings and discussing stuff and drawing plans, I was like, all right, we're ready to build a site now. And he was like, oh, I don't know how to really build a site. And I was like, but you say you know how, and we were doing all this work for like a whole year, and now you're saying you can't do it. So my mindset, man, I just hate waiting on people, and I hate having to like rely too much because I felt like I was relying on him to build a site and, kind of having faith in him doing it. So after that, I was like, man, I have so many ideas because I always been a dreamer. I always have ideas, but I never had like the skills to build a website for my ideas or for any type of business I wanted to learn. So I was like, man, I'm gonna have to teach myself how to do web design. So that's how I kind of got started. Just YouTube, like I said, Google, learning late nights. You know what I mean? Just soaking up as much information as I can. So then I noticed that on these websites, they need graphics. So I kind of started to dabble in a little graphic design, doing a couple of banners on websites and stuff like that. But then I was trying to go more so like the corporate way of like, doing like corporate design, like logo design, business cards and stuff like that. But I knew that it just didn't feel right because it was just like very standard, and I didn't want to kind of go the standard route. I feel like I had a lot more ideas. So I kind of was like, man, I want to get into the entertainment industry. So how I got into the entertainment industry was interesting because It was more so my wife was like, "Hey, I think you should put your work on Instagram." But I was like, "Man, I don't even do social media like that. I'm just trying to build my skills." So she was like, "Nah, I really think you should do it." So I ended up putting my portfolio on Instagram. Um, I don't know how long it took, but I ended up like finding key people in the industry. Like I found K Michelle's creative director. And so one day she randomly was like, "Hey, any designers want to work? I would love to work with you." So I was like, "Okay, cool." Um, so I end up just replying. So she was like, "Hey, I got a project for you." She was like, "Hey, I need you to do a cover for one of her songs, for one of K Michelle's songs." I was like, "Cool." So the whole weekend, man, I did like about 20 covers. They was like,
Wow.
"Nah, nah, nah, nah," but I was just hungry. I was just going hard. Like that whole weekend, I said, "I'm gonna lock in. This is a perfect opportunity." So woke up Monday morning. So let's say that was Friday. Woke up Monday morning, saw K Michelle post a cover that somebody else did. So of course I was hurt, like, that's my only opportunity. But
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of knew. I was like, man, I was down. My wife was like, "Yo, I feel like, God didn't bring you this." Oh, can I talk about
Yes,
that?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
He didn't bring you this far just to, leave you. So I was like, "You right." So then I was like, "Okay, cool." So I got the thought or the hunch to be like, "Hey, let me design just some covers for all her songs on this track list she had for her upcoming album." So I
Mm-hmm.
started doing that, start sending to the creative director. She was like, "Oh, these are super dope." So then she said, "But hey, can you do a flyer for us?" So I knocked out the flyer and boom, K Michelle posted like, "Yo, this is the flyer, 5-day countdown to her album." So that's how I kind of started rolling. And then she was like, "Hey, I got another flyer for it." Knock that out. Another flyer, knock that out. So I kept knocking, projects out. And then it kind of snowballed from there. I don't know how. I feel like I'm long-winded, so I don't know how long to really.
No, that's good, man. That's good. That's good. That's a good story. So you in the entertainment industry, right? Tell us some people that you work with, some artists that you've done some work for.
I've done some from Rick Ross, Demi Lovato, Gucci Man. It's a whole list, man. It's a long, because like I said, I've been doing this for 7 years, so it's a super long list, and definitely been amazing journey. Worked with Jeremiah, um, Megan Thee Stallion, all kinds of people. But yeah.
Who was your favorite? Not your favorite one. What was some of your best work, and what was a person that you did some work for that you was kind of surprised? Is it ever like surreal to you? Does it ever feel
Um,
surreal to be working for artists?
oh yeah, it used to be super crazy just because I was fresh and new, and then I felt like I was a lot like naive, so I felt like I was just taking things on, knowing that I didn't know what to do, but I was like, man, I was determined to figure it out. Like, because I had one of my mentors. That's important too. Get a mentor, somebody's in your same field that can kind of just drop gems and give you the game and kind of like unlock different things. But what kind of unlocked my mentor was like, he said, if a client asks you, "Can you do something?" Just say yeah, and then figure it out.
Hmm.
So I remember many times, I'd be on the phone with these record labels. They'd be like, "Hey, can you do X, Y, Z?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, I can do that." And then, I get off the phone and then I'd be Googling like, "Oh man, what was they talking about?" So, but then I end up learning it, and then I end up working, like teaching myself through the process of working on projects. And then it
Hmm.
started building my skills. It used to take super long though, because I was doing animation when starting from scratch. So it just took super long. But once I start getting project after project and learning during the project, I started just catching on real fast, and now I can do in no time what I used to. It used to take me a long time to do. But yeah,
Yeah, I think experience is the best teacher. Sometimes,
yeah,
so sometimes you just got to jump in there and just do it and try your luck and get it done. And
hmm,
what I hear is that you just had some relentless persistence. Like
exactly.
you were so determined to get it done that you was like, I'm not gonna give up until I get it done. I know I don't know what I'm doing, but however long it takes, I'm
Yep.
just gonna do what I have to do to get it done. So, I mean, that's perfect for our students to hear because that's just what it's gonna take to be successful. That's one of the things it's gonna take to be successful. So, speaking of success, my next question is, what are like the hard skills that somebody in your industry or somebody who takes on a career like you will need?
As far as hard skills, I would say just a good knowledge of how to use a lot of these tools like Photoshop. Like if you're in the creative field, like Photoshop, After Effects, like all the Adobe products. I would say learn the software first because that'll give you a foundation for your ideas to kind of blossom. Because if you taking your time to actually learning the software, you know what I mean, that you might be just too focused and too analytical about how to make it work versus being able to be free and just start doing things. So I would say hard skill, definitely research, because that's what, when you self-taught, like that's the biggest thing is research. Like that's what I noticed. You gotta understand what industry you get into. You gotta understand how they talk. You gotta understand different language that they speak. Because I found myself learning like a lot of these key words that now it sounds like second nature to me to talk like it. But I remember at one time I'm like, yo, what are they talking about? But then I figured out, and then now I know, and I can talk that language. So I feel like hard skills more so just figuring out the software, figuring out what tools you need, because not everybody uses the same tools. And just being open, man, and just being willing to fall on your face sometimes. Been many times fell on my face, so. But we lit now.
Yes, sir. So, what about the soft skills sides of it? What about some of those things? Because I can imagine you got to do a lot of communicating back and forth, right?
Yeah, but it's weird because I hated like working at AT&T. I ain't gonna lie, like I was in the call center like all the time, and I used to like mumble a lot. So by me just talking every day, and I used to talk to like business owners on the other end of the phone like all day, every day, because I was on the business administration side of AT&T. So I kind of accredit that allowed me to have customer service skills, how to speak to business owners, how to craft emails, things like that, man. And I felt like I was working on that the whole time. I didn't even know it, basically. So I kind of took those skills and used it into 7Lemons because I realized that it was a stigma with creative people that they don't handle their business. So I was like, yo, don't want to be like that. I understand you be an artist and you focus on that, but if you want to kind of like build your own thing, you need to have kind of like best of both worlds, because if not, then you'll be too focused on one, but you ain't gonna be making no money, which I see a lot of designers who's super talented, more talented than me, but they don't make as much as I do. You know what I'm saying? Because I kind of still make sure I handle my business and kind of, it's more so the customer service for me.
Yeah.
I think that sets me apart.
Yeah. And I think, those are the intangibles that, you just can't replace, but you gotta have. And so it's very important. I like what you said. You can be as talented as you want to be, but if you don't have people skills or you don't have good customer service, and believe me, students, customer service is in every industry. It's in every career. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You're going to have some customer service. And so, without those people skills, then you are really restricting and limiting yourself. But if you do have those people skills and you do have good customer service, then the sky's the limit.
Exactly. Because I feel like it just taught me how to talk to people, and then I just believe in good customer service. Even though technically I wasn't a great employee at AT&T, like I was known for just kind of just doing my thing, and which I'll still maintain a sense of balance though, because I knew that I can't go too far left and I can't go too far right, or I'll be out the door. So I kind of wanted to stay in the middle, build my brand while I'm working at AT&T, get off of work at like 6, and then work from 6 to 3 in the morning every night. Just building and doing my dreams. I used to have a lot of like friends who'd be like, "Hey man, let's go out." I'm like, nah. Like, you knew me from college. Like, it wasn't too many times I really went out because I always had something that I was trying to build back in, like on the like behind the scenes, basically. So I just kept going home and building. And now I'm saying people used to pick on me like, "Oh man, you lame. You don't never go out. You don't do nothing." Now they want a job with 7Lemons. So it's like, hey,
Yep.
Full circle.
Yeah, full circle. So, man, tell us about some of the pros and the cons of doing what you do, and then tell us what like just a typical work day looks like.
Okay. I'll say the pros. Well, I feel like it's all the path you take, because not everybody wants to be a business owner either. I feel like I chose that path, so I got kind of different things I had to focus on versus somebody, working for a design agency or whatever like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I say the pros is, you know, in my case, being able to work from anywhere, don't have a boss to really have to answer to. But at the same time, that's a gift and a curse, because now you really got to go off of your own willpower to pay the bills. You know what I mean? Like, you got to really master every day, which is a task. You got to stay present every day, which is a task. But I'll say the pros, just being able to create things, because I always like creating and putting stuff out into the world. But as far as cons, I'll say just having to work all the time. Like, I just work all the time, you know what I mean? So that's kind of starting to weigh down on me a little bit. Um, I'll say another con is, well, at the beginning, I realized that if you do handle your own business, like, you have to kind of chase your checks at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like, so,
Yeah.
because a lot of these companies, like a lot of these big companies, be like net 30, which means you can do something today, but I won't get paid until 30 days from now. So a lot of times I'm sitting there waiting for my check, and then sometimes they'll go past the deadline. I'm like, hello, hey, when the money is, So I'll say that's the cons. It's kind of like you just in charge of really having to go get your money, but it's not like that now, because I built more relationships and stuff. But yeah, that's about it.
Awesome, man. So, I got a couple more questions. Can you tell us? I know you like to create, so I'm gonna use the word illustrate. Can you just illustrate a story, and tell us about one of your best days or one of your worst days, and something that you learned from just being in this industry?
Okay. Best days, I'll say working with Jeremiah, because I was flown out to handle some stuff, like some screen visuals for his tour for him and Party Next Door a while ago. So somebody contacted me to do the tour visuals. So I guess I can give a little lesson on faith, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had K Michelle. Matter of fact, that's how I connected. K Michelle's road managers was Jeremiah's road manager. So he was like, "Hey B, I need some visuals for Jeremiah." I started cooking up some stuff, and then he called me like 2 days later and was like, "Hey Jeremiah, technically I already had some, so we might not need it." So I was like, "Dang, that's it for me." Like, I wanted it bad, because this is Jeremiah. At the same time, I wanted to get flown out. I wanted to go on tour. So then he was like, "But if you do something and he likes it, then we'll let you come on a tour." So I was like, "All right, bet." But he said, "If they don't like it though, you just don't get paid for it." So I was like, all right. So, I prayed about it. I was like, yo, my faith is me actually taking on the project and doing the project in hopes of. So I did like 3, sent it to the road manager. He was like, yo, Jeremiah loves it. He wants you on tour. He said, can you do 11 videos in like a week? And I was like, at this time, man, I was just starting. So I was like, yeah, I can do it. So, so then he was like, yo, can you be in California tomorrow? And I was like, whoa, I think I only flown like one time. I was nervous to fly, but I told myself I will fly if it came to my dreams or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sure enough, presented itself. So that night I couldn't sleep. I'm like, yo, I'm about to go to California tomorrow. Like, they paid for the flight and everything. So
Wow.
then to get to California, they locked me into some kind of room, and I was just banging out videos. And
Wow.
then they was like, "Hey, Jeremiah's here. They want to he want him to meet you." So then I met him. He was super cool. He was like, "Yo, I love your work." And I was like, "Yo, this is crazy. This is Jeremiah saying he loved my work." So yeah, so I banged it out, man. I did like, it ended up not having to be 11 videos, because a lot of the videos they wanted me to just kind of chop up his old videos and put it on the screen. So
Mm-hmm.
come to find out, I was on like 7 videos. But if I was scared to be like, oh, I can't take on 11 videos in like a week, it would have never happened. Or if I would have been like, nah, if I ain't gonna get paid for it, then I ain't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
could have went that route, but sure enough, got flown out, then they flew me to Miami and all that. So I'll say that's my best day. I hate to get long with it, sorry.
No, that's good, man.
But as far as the worst days, um, it's not too many like worst days. There's been some times where I get some feedback from my art and it'd be like kind of like, you ain't had to say it like that, you know? It would be like, I don't like that, can't change that. So I didn't hurt it all, but I used to be super sensitive at the beginning. But then I realized it ain't necessarily saying that you can't do it. It's just more so that it's not for them right now. And let's just keep revising until we figure something out.
Right.
So I kind of realized that a lot of people don't really know what they want until you present something to them. So I kind of now just do it and present it. And they be like, oh, I hate this, I hate that. I'm like, okay, well, let's just revise and keep revising until we get it.
Yep.
But it's just a lot of like work and a lot of long hours. And that's the only thing I'll say my worst day is just having to work.
Yeah.
And well, I'll say another thing, as far as the music industry, everything is ASAP. So sometimes it stifles your creativity because they want you to like really do the impossible in like a day or two. And you're like, man, just give me a little time. I can do a lot better. So I just say false deadlines.
Yeah. Okay. So last question, man. And then we're just gonna wrap it up. If let's go back to your teenage years when you was in middle school and high school, give some advice to the teenagers. What are the things that you would tell yourself when you was a teen? Just looking back, if hindsight was 2020, if you could look back and see yourself, what would you be telling yourself?
I would tell myself to focus on more what I think about myself versus what other people think about me, if that makes sense. Because, you know, you have those people around you that say that, you know, they don't think you can do it. But I always had that something in my mind, like, but I can though, you know, I just gotta. So then I kind of realized like, let me stop telling people my dreams. Let me just do the work. Cause that's what it's all about, is doing the work, you know, cause you could talk about it all you want to, you know, I feel like that's a lot with society, is like a lot of talking and less action. So I kind of want to be the opposite. I was like, okay, I'm gonna work and then kind of go from there, like build something first and then go from there. Cause then at that point, nobody can deny it, you know, because it's already built. Like, you know, they can't even shoot down before you even start building. So I'll just say to myself, it's all about how you think about yourself versus what other people think about you.
Yeah, man, I like it. To me, I mean, I know you're my good friend, and I'm always gonna boost you up, man. So to me, you're just a beast.
Appreciate it, man.
You're a beast, man, because that's what beasts do. They work like a lion, you know, when they're preying.
Right, working and praying.
They keep up, you know, they creep up on them, and then boom, out of nowhere, you know, the line appears. And so, yeah, you're exactly right about that. You don't have to talk about what you're gonna do. Just be about it. And your work will speak for itself. So,
Right.
all great things.
Appreciate it.
Do you have anything else you'd like to share?
Man, just so the kids are they following like the more creative path?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So yeah, I'll just say, man, just create, create, create. You can only know by doing. You can't know by thinking about it. Because it was a lot of times like, you know, you just keep revising your plan so much till you realize you ain't been doing no action other than revising your plan and writing it down. It's like, man, when is the work going? You know, if I say I'm about it, when am I gonna do it? So
Absolutely.
it's just kind of taking it head on, man. And creativity is in the eye of the beholder. So don't take it to heart, because it's still a service at the end of the day. So just kind of take it with a grain of salt.
I love it, man. I appreciate you just coming and being with us and speaking with us today. I
Appreciate you, man.
have been taking notes. I learned a lot. I know that some of our students are really going to benefit just from hearing from you. So thank you for just taking your time out to, you know, invest and pour into our students. I'd like to do a wrap up about, you know, what I learned. And here's I think I got like a top 7.
Okay. Hey, 7 Lemons.
That's it.
7 is the magic number.
Be relentless, know your jargon, do your research, take risks, use your stepping stones to propel you, believe in yourself, and always have a mentor. Always have a mentor, and don't focus on others' opinions. And so,
That's kind of amazing, man, to wrap it up like that. That's because I mean, I feel like we hear a lot of these people who already made it say the same exact things, but we just kind of think it's more cliche. But I feel like there's no way around it. It's no shortcuts. Like you got to put in the work.
you gotta do it. You gotta do it. So, man, again, thank you. And
Man.
if nothing else, we out.
All right, man. Appreciate you.